Good evening, everyone, or good morning, depends on where you are. My name is Peter Rodriguez. I'm the Dean of the Jones Graduate School of Business here at Rice University. And welcome. Thank you for coming to this information session about the undergraduate business major. It's special just to be able to say that, and in fact, historic. For a long time, the Jones School has had, I think, the ambition and the hope that we would one day offer an undergraduate business major for lots of reasons. Some of them, my colleagues here on the panel will also discuss a little bit later, but I can tell you from my point of view that the opportunity to really be a part of what Rice does so well, which is deliver a first-class residential undergraduate business education, means a great deal to us. For many years, we've been focused on delivering a very high quality, rigorous education to MBA students, Ph.D. students, Masters of Accounting students. But I think in many ways, one of the most exciting things we could do would be offer an undergraduate business major. And finally, this spring, we had that major approved, and you could be a part of the very first group of undergraduate majors to come through Rice. Part of what we can do in a program like this is extend what we've already done so well in the MBA programs that we've delivered for a very long time. And that's really prepare you in a couple of ways to combine, I think, the very best elements of Rice, which gives you, in many ways, what is the best version you could have of a full spectrum, a complete university with the arts, the sciences, engineering, and business, in preparation for a career that would be highly gratifying to you and can prepare you for a lot of different pathways after graduation. Some of those might be out into the working world or to another degree that focuses on a particular field in business or another. Some of them might be to a PhD program or other possibilities. In any way, we know that our faculty can deliver a great range of courses that are going to stimulate you, help further develop you, and help you get those career starts and other beginnings you really like. I can tell you that that's true for our Masters of Accounting students. It's true for our MBAs, and I know it'll be true for you. So we're really excited about that. We'll be bringing you a little more information during this session on what the structure of the program is, how we plan to roll it out, maybe address some of the questions you have about how this blends in with the rest of your time at Rice and what we plan to offer. But the most important thing I can say to you is that we couldn't be happier to have you be a part of this. We hope that you'll take part in the major, get a part of all the life around the major and all the other wonderful things at Rice. And I know that when you come together at the Jones School for your first set of classes, you'll get to know each other and you get to connect with a lot of great faculty who can't wait to teach you and can't wait to show you some of the best tools, techniques, and ways of thinking about the world that they've developed over their careers. So really excited to be here with you this evening. I think I'll listen in and hear some about your questions to learn a little bit more about your perspective. And now I want to turn it over to my colleagues.
And thanks everybody for being here tonight or this morning, as Dean Rodriguez pointed out. So I'm going to go through just a short presentation of some information. And I'm going to share my screen here for you. All right. So it's exciting to get to talk about the business major at Rice. Just a little background on me. I am the faculty lead for undergraduate business programs and a full professor of finance here at Rice. And I'm a Rice alum. I graduated, I was in Baker College, which obviously is the best college, and in a year that is so long ago that it seems comical to even say it out loud, so I won't. We've been working really hard to try to get a business major here at Rice for a long time, and I'm excited that we'll now get to do that. So let me just sort of give you some information about what's going on with the business major here. So you may already know about Rice Business, sort of in the bigger scheme of things. We've had graduate programs for decades. These have been tremendously successful. Our Rice MBA programs routinely rank in the top in the country. Also, at the undergraduate level, we've been offering an undergraduate business minor for a little bit over a decade now. And it was one of the first minors at Rice, and it is now the most popular minor at Rice by a factor of 3. In recent years, roughly 1 out of every 6 or 7 students graduating from Rice graduated with a Rice business minor in addition to whatever their major was. And these are people who were economics and engineering, music, you name it, across the board. So it's been a very popular minor, and so we're going to build on the foundation that the minor gives us for the major. And so the underlying concept here for the business major is that the underlying design is very similar to what our very successful MBA programs are like. We start off with sort of a broad foundation so that students get a good understanding of sort of all aspects, all facets of business. And then once they've sort of found their calling inside that broad spectrum, sort of drill down for a deep dive, to mix metaphors a little bit, into a field that is more specific. And so that's what we're going to do here, not only with our MBA programs that are so successful, but with the business major as well. And I'll talk about how that works here as we go through. And throughout, I think it's fair to say that basically all of our faculty have an emphasis when they step into the classroom, an emphasis on theory meets practice, or theory informs practice, depending on the exact setting. But the idea being that we want our students to understand the deep, important underlying concepts well enough that they can take that and then apply it anywhere. And that's the idea behind what we do. So the way this works, Rice is a fascinating place because it's almost anything goes. Once you're admitted to Rice, regardless of whatever division or school you got admitted via, it's very easy to change your major to something else. And so if you come in one field and then decide, oh, I really want to do this other thing, it's pretty easy to do that, especially if you are interested in declaring the business major. So even if you are applying as an engineer or in sociology or English, it's easy to make the switch if you decide that you want to do this. Or vice versa. It's easy to decide to switch out of the business major into something else if you find that that's what you want to do. And so you can take any business course, as long as you have the prerequisites, at pretty much any time, even if you've not yet declared the major, even if you don't intend to declare the major. We're just happy to be teaching you business. Some people have asked, is there a limit to how many majors there can be in business? No. There's no limit. There's no cap on the number of enrollees. We're just happy that you're interested in learning business with us. So I mentioned that there's this concept of starting with sort of a broad underlying foundation and then building on that from there. So the foundation, the core topics, are the courses I have listed over here on the right-hand side of the screen: financial accounting, managerial accounting, finance, marketing, organizational behavior, strategy, operations management, and data analysis. And then as you sort of so the core has to be fulfilled. And then at some point, either after you've done all the core classes or before you finish them all, then you declare a concentration and you do your deep dive into either finance or management, or the two concentrations that we have right now. And so if you decide to do the finance concentration, what we're going to do is basically give you all the sort of critical pieces of finance knowledge. And so the classes that you'll take in the finance concentration, and I should note that these are all taught by people who are subject experts, noted scholars. And so you'll take a class in investments, a class in derivatives, a class in financial statement analysis, a class in advanced corporate finance, and then there'll be one more class that you can choose from a menu of several options. If instead you decide to concentrate in management, again, these classes are all taught by people who are scholars in their field, true subject matter experts. And so the courses there for the management concentration are leadership and teams, power and influence, negotiations, business and society, innovation strategy, marketing strategy. There's more details of all this stuff on the webpage if this here is just sort of whetted your appetite to learn more. So I'll suggest that a quick Google search for Rice Business Major will get you where you want to be. So one of the things I think is really fascinating about our take on the business major that you don't really see a lot of other places is that we have applications of the theory baked in to the structure of several of the classes. And so several of the classes have lab sections. They're not like literally, you're not in a lab with Bunsen burners, but it'll be an extra class meeting each week that you're then focusing on applications of the material. And so for instance, there are 2 of the finance concentration courses that have a communications component, one being a discipline-specific writing component, another being a discipline-specific presentation component. Same for the management concentration, 2 classes there that do the same thing, but again, specific to the coursework that you're taking at the same time. So there's, just this sort of great synergy of what's going on. And then our data analysis class, which is basically a statistics class, has this lab component as well, which is applying these data analysis theories and concepts to real world implementation. The credit hour requirements for the business major, these, I could have pulled this from basically any major in the social sciences. In terms of how much is required, it's about the same as any of the majors in the social sciences or humanities. We have a minimum number of courses, 15. Everybody at the university needs a minimum of 120 hours to graduate, and a certain number of courses that are at the 300 level or above. So this slide here is just sort of here for the sake of completion, but there's really no surprises or news here. You might be interested in sort of what the courses are, when they're being offered. This is a brand new major. And so some of the courses we're still rolling out. But if you are coming into the university right now, you're going to have the full slate of courses available to you well before you graduate. So this schedule right here shows what we're offering in the 2021 to 2022 year, multiple sections of most of these classes. So all of these where you see sections being offered are ones that are also in the business minor. We're rolling out concentration courses already. And so in fall of 21, we'll have a section of financial statement analysis and a section of derivatives. Those are finance concentration courses. And for the management concentration courses, the ones we're going to roll out is power, influence, and organizational change that happens in fall, and business and society, which we offer in the spring. Now, one other thing we do that is unusual for business majors at most universities is we have an honors track. Now, this is not just, oh, I'm super smart, and so I'm going to get another accolade. The idea behind business honors is a research component, a very serious research component where you end up taking a very high level, normally not available to undergraduates class under the supervision of a professor. And you also do an original research project under the supervision of a professor. So this is intended for people who want to move on to research-oriented careers, such as getting a Ph.D. in business, or maybe if you were interested in being a research assistant at the Federal Reserve, this would be a good way to get on that path. I mentioned our faculty before, only briefly, but for the most part, it's a very tight-knit group. The faculty like each other, we get along, we joke. This is a picture of us all going to lunch together in obviously pre-pandemic times, but it's a tight-knit community in the Jones School. You know, the graduate side of the business school, it's one of the smallest business schools in the top 25. And that smallness is great because it means it's very tight-knit, very close-knit, people know each other, and that's going to be true on the undergraduate side as well. So here's the mugshots of all of our faculty that are going to be in the program, this coming year, and you can see who it is. And obviously there's more detail for everybody on the main web pages